Hey babes, I'm back with another YouTube video, and today I'm finally doing another medium set, and I'm using some non-C-curve square tips. These nail tips are pretty much the shape I want her nails to be anyway, so right now I'm just blending out the nail tip with her natural nail, and I'm also going to shape the sidewalls, but I really don't have to shape them too much because like I said, we will be doing square. This hand file is 100 grit, and I am extremely careful when I'm blending the nail tip in with the natural nail, of course, because you don't want to over file. Now, some people do this with their sanding band, but me, I just prefer to use my 100 grit file. When I'm shaping the sidewalls of these nails, since like I said, they're already the shape that I like, I'm just going to press my hand file against the side wall of the nail and file up and down, because if I start doing this at an angle, it will start to taper. Once I'm finished with this, I will be dusting my client's nails off completely and applying my primer. When I'm prepping my client's natural nails, I'm going to first use my dehydrator, which is really just 90% alcohol. After that, I'll be using one layer of my Young Nails Protein Bond, and lastly, I'm going to be using one layer of my No Lift Primer. In this video, I will be using my Valentino Perfect Nude with my Mia Secret monomer. And before I actually apply my colored acrylic, I like to place a small bead of clear acrylic to the natural nail, and this does help with lifting. Now, placing my first bead directly on top of the nail tip, this bead is large enough to cover the entire bottom of the nail. So after I get the top of the bead flat with the nail, I'm going to start to lightly bring this down. I make the top of the bead flat before I start to bring the acrylic down, because when you go to place that second bead, you don't want to be trying to wipe no acrylic down over no lump. So it's best to make sure that the top of the bead is flat with the nail. Now for my cuticle bead, I placed it slightly away from the cuticle area, and holding the finger down, I'm going to start to push it into the cuticle area. But you guys see how I started to level out her finger? This is what caused my lifting, because as y'all can see, it spilled over on both of the sides, so I did have to go and clean that up. I did feel like this nail could have been a little thicker, so I'm going to place one more bead in the cuticle area, and after making sure that it is flush with the previous cuticle bead, I'm going to start to blend that down. Once again, I'll be placing a clear bead of acrylic onto the natural nail before I actually apply my colored acrylic, and I used a very small bead for that. Placing my first bead, I'm going to start to angle my brush up so I can make the top of that bead flat, and now that that's finished, I'm going to lightly bring everything down. You want to make sure that you're holding the finger down as you're working so that if any acrylic is going to spill, it will go straight down instead of falling over. Here, the bead I used was a little too wet, so I did have to go back with the end of my brush and clean her flooded cuticle area. After I clean her sidewalls, I will be continuing to wipe down the nail so that if any acrylic is sticking out on the side from when I wiped it, I could wipe it seamlessly back into the rest of the acrylic. Do y'all be having clients that be trying to come after the grace period, like way after the grace period, and they'll acknowledge the fact that they know that they shouldn't? Like, that just never made sense to me. I was thinking about this one time. I had a client that told me that she was a little far and that she didn't think she was gonna make it, and I was like, okay, well, you know, my grace period is 10 minutes, so let me know if you're gonna make it or if you want to reschedule. And she had texted me back something like, oh, do you want me to speed or get a speeding ticket? Like, she said something like that, and I was just like, I don't even think I responded, honestly. And she ended up not coming because she knew she wasn't gonna make it. But it'd be little stuff like that, like, girl, ain't nobody asked you to get no speeding ticket. Just respectfully reschedule if you can't make it. But people would rather risk getting a speeding ticket and possibly still not making it over just telling you they can't make it. Can they reschedule? It makes no sense. Overall, the rules I have on my booking website are super simple, and I made them simple because people already don't read. So I assumed that if I made my website simple, that people would just read it and get over it. But even with doing that, people still don't read, and people will read it and still try to do what they want for, you know, whatever reason. So today I decided that I'm not gonna, you know, continue to have my website be simplified. So I will be editing it today. So that's just on them if they decide not to read. People not following rules really bothers me because it's like once you address it, the whole energy changes and it gets all awkward and just unnecessarily. But it's like, if I would have never had to like tell you that you're wrong for, you know, trying to come late or coming with nails on and not booking a soak off, like, you're just gonna continue to do it. Now, using my 5-in-1 fine bit, I will be sealing my client's cuticle area, and as I'm doing this, I'm going from right to left. And I'm being pretty light as I'm doing this because you don't want to remove too much of the acrylic. Like I said, when I'm using this drill bit in the cuticle area, I am using it on a low speed. My drill actually doesn't have any numbers, so I can't really give you guys the exact speed for it. After this, I'm going to be using my 80 grit file to shape the side walls as well as file the surface of the nail. I think it's so funny that every time I give a new student a class and it's like their first time touching acrylic, before we start, they be like, yeah, I watched like 1,000 videos. Like, I already know what to do. It's going to be real easy. And I'll be like, all right, girl, I'm telling you at first, it's not easy. That consistency is going to mess with you. And that's always what happens. But of course, eventually we make progress. But I remember when I first started, I used to be like, oh yeah, I be watching like the Koreans at the shop do it 1, 2, 3. So it should be pretty easy. And then with stressed and throwing the practice fingers. Now, before I do my French tip, I will be painting her nails with top coat, and the top coat and gel polishes that I'm using today are all from D&D. Now, I will be painting on her French tip nails, and y'all, this was maybe my 3rd or 4th time doing a full hand painted French tip set, so I'm actually not going to go too into detail on how I was doing this because I pretty much did every finger a little differently. I was honestly trying to find what worked best for me, and with these polishes, for some of the colors, I do recommend applying 2 coats of your color because some of them was a little see-through. Y'all, on this day, I was on my 5th client. I started working at 8 and I probably finished working at like 10. And I feel like the only reason I finished so late is because I have like 30-minute gaps between my appointments sometimes. So they caused me to end up finishing really late. And I hate that because then it feels like I was working for like 12 plus hours. So my last client was my cousin and my shoulders were just burning, like they were just really uncomfortable. I really didn't want to sit down anymore. Like I said, I was working since 8 and it's like 10:30 at night at this time. So as I was starting to draw the lips, my shoulders was just giving out. I'm not gonna even lie to y'all, like I didn't watch no tutorials on how to draw lips. I was just looking at the picture and I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure I could do this, but I more than likely will end up going over how to draw lips again in a more like detailed tutorial because y'all, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, for these I was tired, but I still loved how they came out, and she still loved her nails. Like she didn't even know I had all of that going on. Y'all, after drawing these lips, later on in the night, I watched the tutorial and was like, okay, that was a way easier way than what I was doing earlier. So like I said, more than likely, I will do another nail set with this design, especially because Valentine's Day is coming, y'all. So I will definitely be going over this once again soon. But after I drew on the lips, I did pour some white acrylic on top of the nails to give it a velvet effect. Alright, y'all, so if you've made it to this part of the video, you get to hear the tea. So recently, a marijuana company had reached out to me, and they sell edibles, and they wanted me to, you know, eat some edibles for one of my YouTube videos as I do my nails. Now, I did plan on doing like some short Valentine's Day nails on myself, so when I had got the message, I was like, that may be funny, that may be cool. So I just wanted to know, like, what's y'all opinion on that? Because I've seen other channels do that, you know, now and then with like makeup, and I've seen this one girl like do her hair and stuff like that. So I was just searching around trying to see if people are interested in stuff like that, because I'm 420 friendly, but you know, I also got to get y'all opinion on stuff before I do it. So I would love to know, you know, down below how you guys would feel about that, because that may be something I do pretty soon, and I kind of got a good feeling about it. So y'all let me know. So y'all let me know how y'all feeling about these down below. And if you did enjoy this YouTube video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to see you guys in the next YouTube video.